Canon has just dropped a series of bold leaks, and if they turn out to be true, the long-running EOS R7 may finally face serious competition inside its own dynasty. Not from outsiders like Nikon or Sony, but from within Canon's mirrorless bloodline itself. A move that feels less like rivalry and more like succession planning inside a game of sensor thrones. The Canon EOS R9 appears to be far more than a mild annual bump. It could be a complete game-changer. A strategic repositioning of Canon's APS-C ambition in a world where crop sensors are no longer underrated junior contenders wearing kit lens diapers, but potential professional beasts capable of 8K capture, AI autofocus clairvoyance, and burst mode confidence fast enough to photograph hummingbirds gossiping mid-air about shutter latency. But the question still lingers like a notification you can't swipe away. Is this the APS-C camera we've all been waiting for? Or another generational illusion that glitters in rumor headlines but might suffer once reality hands it its report card, stamped in thermal warnings and storage invoices? Because Canon has a long cinematic history of releasing hardware that grows on you emotionally before it fully matures in features and firmware stability. A company whose products are often loved for what they make you feel capable of rather than what they actually do without compromise on launch day. In this breakdown, we aren't just analyzing a camera. We are analyzing an ecosystem philosophy where family competition is deliberate absence, retailer silence, and internal iteration signaling where when shelves empty across retail giants like Target Corporation and reseller pricing chaos peaks at outlets such as Walmart. The disappearance is not supply chain sadness but product refresh choreography. A retail vanishing act performed quietly before the holidays like whisper magic. Canon also seems to be aiming this model squarely at professionals and serious hobbyists who want top-tier performance in a more compact format. Creators who don't necessarily need full-frame depth for every shot but desperately want a sensor that allows them to crop into wildlife guilt-free, frame motion confidently at sporting events, color-grade log pipelines without emotional damage, and build serious hybrid workflows without needing a second mortgage or selling their Peacock collection on Craigslist. The Canon EOS R7 earned a unique reputation, not as a life-changing camera, but as a workhorse that could have been perfect if its lens ecosystem had matured faster and its AI had sounded smarter rather than just being technically smarter in code strings buried deep inside firmware builds. The rumored 32.5MP APS-C sensor inside Canon EOS R9 may seem like a trivial half-megapixel increase over 32MP, but it is symbolic intent. A differentiator that suggests Canon wants detail, texture retention, and post-cropping flexibility to become part of the marketing narrative as proof that APS-C bodies are no longer reserved for early beginners, but for shooters who want computational insurance for moment-critical environments where composition decisions must sometimes be made after, not during, capture. Now, what does 32.5MP actually mean in use? It means storage discipline like monks negotiating SSD bandwidth, CF Express card costs for high-speed reliability, editing pipelines that might stutter without GPU muscles flexed in post-production, hearing every handshake and minor blur more visibly unless paired with stabilized lenses or tripod workflows. Making lens sharpness matter more because sensors can only resolve what glass can deliver reliably. And using apertures creatively even when your telephoto axis is still missing natively in the RFS family. But let's talk lens diplomacy because that is the backbone of camera usability more than chip generations are. Sigma joining Canon's RFS partner family changed the recommendation calculus for crop shooters by delivering lenses like the Sigma 18 to 50mm, f2.8, DCDN Contemporary and Sigma 10 to 18mm f2.8. DCDN Contemporary both under humane pricing but the missing trio axis the Sigma 50 to 150mm f2.8 telephoto is still not natively confirmed, and that absence matters because a triangle incomplete is ecosystem heartbreak for wildlife shooters who need reach religion symmetry, not just weather. Reports from a tiny speaker orb. Canon is selling this refresh under Apple-like ecosystem intense silence strategy, where the disappearance of SKS across retailers precedes replacement hardware years later. But if you examine Canon's history, you'll see patterns where sensor leaps mattered less than lens pipeline freedom, where creators historically moved toward Sony because third-party lens allowances from Sigma and Tamron felt like oxygen compared to Canon's closed RF pricing drama at the time. So the true disruptor is not chip or sensor alone, it is glass freedom under budget. Psychological thresholds like $99 for speakers or $999 for lenses, which changes market entry behavior because when you give creators affordable glass, the camera body finally earns the right to be recommended again professionally. Now, let's zoom into video, because if 32.5 MP is symbolic intent, 8K 30 FPS is system diplomacy, nuclear politics, where the file sizes don't politely ask for permission. They invoice you silently after capture. But 8K matters because you can crop into footage after capture, stabilize without losing resolution, reframe for vertical content like TikTok or Instagram Reels where viewers scroll faster than sensors sample, and color grade pipelines using log profiles like Canon C-Log3 that were previously only seen in high-end cinema workflows. And that alone positions the camera into a hybrid creator's dream category where a single body might be enough for photography and filmmaking, without investing into separate cinema rigs like the Canon C70 or Sony FX3 4K 120fps. On board is the seduction layer, where everyday motion becomes slow-motion spectacle, the modern digital magical trick where tracking chaotic environments becomes cinematic insurance, not luxury, where the frames start reading moment reliability for wedding filmmakers, wildlife shooters, adventure vloggers shooting interviews in rugged travel environments like African savannas, hockey rinks freezing under sweat pressure, tiger stalking investors capturing interviews for YouTube, journalists documenting motion complexity under pressure, and anyone wanting footage longevity that won't feel embarrassing on large screens years later. But then comes autofocus, where Canon reportedly upgrades dual-pixel CMOS AF2 with AI motion learning, direction anticipation, overlapping subject resilience, chaotic scene lock persistence without hunting hesitation, bird tracking even when briefly blocked by trees or distractions, sports motion direction predictions, crowd walk performer locking reliability, learning from motion patterns instead of just recognizing faces or eyes, intelligently staying locked onto subjects like a spectral pet ecosystem that tracks rather than negotiates. But photographers won't trust AI alone, unless that AI serves glass reliably in capture authority pipelines. Now let's talk burst speed, 20 FPS mechanical shutter and 30 FPS. Electronic shutter puts this camera into the same conversation field as sports beasts like the Nikon Z8 or Sony A9 II. Meaning even if the sensor only speaks half-megapixel increments, the FPS speaks in heartbeat languages that professionals respect because you won't miss a moment unless your SD cards balk under bandwidth pressure, which is where buffer improvements and internal heat dissipation tactics reportedly come into play. Canon seems to have improved internal processors and heat dissipation, allowing it to shoot large volumes of high-resolution stills and 8K footage without skipping beats, reducing bottlenecks that plague high-megapixel shooters when buffering file pipelines collapse, allows for tracking across entire sports fields or chaotic wildlife environments where subjects move unpredictably. And now with Sigma's primes under $1,000 and mid-zoom or ultra-wide vlogging lens families matured, there is finally enough lens oxygen to justify recommending the body for professionals willing to live with APS-C compact advantages instead of lens trauma full-frame costs. But here is where the criticisms roar like a gimbal you didn't balance properly. $2,500 for an APS-C camera is psychologically awkward when the logical jump for many creators might be to move into full-frame options like the Canon EOS R9 Mark II, which offers 24 MP but improves low light authority and lens family completeness without massive file size punishment. Because not everyone prints large enough to justify 32.5 MP. Not everyone wants to deal with editing pipelines that demand faster computers. Not everyone needs insane burst rates if shooting static subjects like portraits or studio photography optimized workflows. And unless users pair stabilized glass with tripod workflows, that extra detail makes blur and handshake more visible. So sensors can only resolve what lens pipelines cooperate at reach destinations. But even with caveats, this body is shaping up like a hybrid dream appliance for professionals who want a solo production rig nucleus that supports serious color grading pipelines in DaVinci Resolve or Final Cut Pro. A device strong enough to feel professional inside compact workflows. A camera that could persuade select hybrid shooters that APS-C is no longer stepping stone territory, but long-term professional survivability terrain. A body that whispers ecosystem intel by disappearing from SKUs politely before re-emerging with improved belief authority. And yes, Canon may still launch an R7 Mark II later or confirm nothing like ghosts ignoring you when you ask about them.